Hi everyone, Frank here. How you doing? So this week's show is a little bit different because it doesn't have any mine content in it. So when we shut down the Yankee Boy mine, and people were, a lot of people made comments that says, well, post some stuff, let us know what we're doing, what you're doing. So I went to the Arctic. I went from my home in Grand Forks all the way up north, about 10,000 kilometer trip up to the Arctic. So I brought my camera along and shot some stuff. We did go to a couple mines. So the mine, the show last week was from Alaska. It was actually from a mine up there. But anyhow, so this week's show doesn't have any mine content in it. So we're just doing that so to show you guys what other kind of stuff I'm up to. I'm not going to do that anymore. What I'm going to do is there's actually a part 2 to this show. And I'm going to post it on my other channel. So I've got another channel. It's just called Frank Schlichting. I'll put the link in the description, but also if you go to my YouTube page and it says featured channels, it's on there. So I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that I did, hiking stuff, different things with boats and other stuff that was non-mine related in the past is in there too. So in the future, I'm going to post, I just bought a Harley and stuff. We're going to do some riding and do different things. So that kind of stuff will be on that channel, not on this channel. I also have another channel called Canadian Aviation Adventures, which I had when I had my airplane. So there's a whole bunch of flying stuff on there if you want to watch that. So this is a pretty cool video. It's about this trip up to Alaska, up to the north. So I hope you enjoy it. And if I have other if I decide to go to some more mines, I'll post video on this channel about mines. If I don't have anything new, I'll just kind of keep posting older stuff that I've shot in the last 10 years in the 500 or so mines that we've been into. So hope you enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the show. So the first night I was camped up in Christian Valley, and this bloody marmot kept coming, and he was climbing up my trailer up in there and chewing a whole bunch of stuff. So here, I won't tell you what I ended up doing to get rid of that problem, but yeah, okay, so you'll see the marmot. He's up underneath the tire up in the next shot here, right up on my tire there. What do you think you're doing in there? Huh? What are you up to? We're in Christian Valley. There's lots of trees, we'll show you later. There was a big tornado in here that blew a whole bunch of trees down about a year ago in August. Nice little spot in Christian Valley. The road's a little rough, but just take your time. It's not bad. There's lots of free campsites along here. Beautiful drive. This is actually the river that comes right into Grand Forks. The Kettle River. And so this is Moore Creek, which is in the Christian Valley, but I'm just showing you some of the damage that this tornado done. It's just amazing the size of trees that it pushed over. And it's in a big swath all the way through this valley. It happened last August. Just a tornado come ripping through here. But it snapped off like, pretty much pushed all these trees over in the bottom of the valley. And snapped off huge trees in places. There's places where there's bigger trees. Maybe I'll stop and show you. I don't know, but she leveled her pretty good. And it's for a long ways too. I bet you there's a good 20 miles where all the trees are down just like this. You can hear those dogs. They must have smelled a bear back there somewhere. We're past the worst of the tornado damage. There's a really cool waterfall here, around 78 kilometers. So we're going to go down and show it to you. I always thought about taking a rope and going over the edge of this big cliff where the falls are. We're not going to do it today. Well, there we go. We're at the old MC Ranch here. The place is looking pretty ratty looking. We'll That was a house. It used to be a big dugout. Here they filled it in. And there was the windmill we had, and we had lots of steel in the corrals and different things. They ripped all that stuff up and threw it in a big pile. The old dump truck you had a long time ago. So we're just camping out here for the night there, kind of walking down memory lane. We built that house around 20 years ago. Moved it here from another place. Doesn't look like there's anybody living in there. Looking a little worse for wear. My old shop. This was originally just a power shed, and then they built the shop onto it. Looks like some kind of a bird or something was nesting up in there. Weird. Well, it's still standing, but there's the sewage lagoon over there. Have a look, and they have just a fencing crew here. There's nobody here now. Yeah. Oh, the shop's not too bad. Oh, there's my sign. Everyone had no hunting signs, and my sign said, "Hunters welcome." And my number. I didn't mind people hunting on my property. Some bolts I left. Got my own little sawmill here, so I built a lot of that stuff myself. Oh, yeah, I remember I had this up here. Say hello to my little friend. I'll show you the house. Just on pilings. Underneath, we just push them under the hoe. Looks like we've got a bit of water issues here. We still have heat in here. This is all stuff we sawed with the sawmill. Tamarack. Bathroom. I don't remember, this is the floor that we had in here. I guess so. Yeah, it was. We laid all that floor in here. A couple beds in here. This is the master bedroom. This is the spare bedroom. It's our living room. The wood stove was there. Kitchen. There was a burl that I cut and put in there. There's my brand. A little room here. It's kind of like a living room or whatever, sunroom, I guess. This little tamarack that we sawed on the mill. Something's kind of got a little warped. They probably never heated this for a long time. Had problems maybe with it. Luckily the rats haven't moved in. Looking pretty ratty for a 20-year-old house. Oh yeah, they got a pretty nice setup now for loading up cows. That's where our bullpen used to be. They ripped out all our corrals and everything. Well, a lot of the stuff got sold in the auction. But pretty nice handling facility they have now. Oh, the grass is just starting to come up now, so they're still feeding the cows. It's almost the 1st of June. I'd say by the 1st of June they'll be out on grass. So, All right, well, I guess it's time for us to pack up and we'll head her down the road and see what other adventures await us. What are you up to there, buddy? You want to race? Let's just went for a little swim. It's a little wet. Hey, guy. These bears aren't very shy. They see a lot of people because they kind of hang out on the side of the road. This is a place called Steamboat. Kind of a pretty good hill going up here. There's a nice view from here. There used to be a place where there was a gas station, a whole bunch of old buildings, but they can't get in there anymore. So this is the only viewpoint you have of it now. It's a pretty fair steep hill going up here. We're just getting some gas. I've got my own gas tank. My own gas station. This is a place here called Summit Lake. So just phenomenal scenery in here. So this is kind of typical of a lot of places along the Alaska Highway. They had all these little gas stations and resorts and motels, and they're all abandoned now because, well, people have RVs and the road's way better, so you can make a lot more miles. And losers have put some graffiti up here. But yeah, there used to be all these little gas stations and motels and all this cool stuff. All been abandoned for quite a few years. No trespassing, it says. I don't hardly think anyone would mind. I don't think it's been open for business for a while. A big lodge here. Something burnt down. We were in one of these little lodges and there was still like the bank machines were still left in there. Some of them looked like they just dropped everything overnight. Let's see what kind of ghosts we can find. More like to see a rat than a ghost. Yeah. I'm thinking this is what my house is going to look like in a few years. Well, my old one at the ranch. Yeah. It was in a state of disrepair. Well, I don't imagine we'll be spending the night here. Let's head back up the road and see if we can make it to Liard Hot Springs. This is a place called Toad River. There's an airstrip here. It's right beside the highway. A kind of interesting story. There's a guy here, his name was Barry Drinkall. I was working on a fire here about 20 years ago and we had a huge problem with bears. And this guy had a whole, he had a bunch of bush planes they took people into the bush with. And he had these dogs called curly and bear dogs. And we had so much trouble with the bears. And these dogs, they just come out and they just attack these bears. It's quite something to see. They're like a pit bull, but they're Polish dogs that chase after bears. So yeah, this is a pretty cool little place. And I don't know if Barry's still here. It's been quite a few years, but yeah, usually sometimes you see planes here and they take off here. And they got a whole bunch of camps to go hunting and stuff in the backcountry here on little cabins. And these dogs, what they do is they go back into the cabins and there's always bears in there. As soon as they got on the plane, they let the dogs out and they just chased all the bears away. These are bighorn sheep here. Hey guys. There we go, there's some buffalo, or bison, whatever you want to call them. They can be kind of nasty. You don't want to get out or anything and piss them off, you never know. Hey guys, what's happening? Look pretty scruffy this time of year. In the wintertime they look much nicer. They're shedding their hair. Hello there, old man. What do you know? What do you know? Hey there, buddy. What's up? Yeah. That sign is right where the turnoff is to the hot springs. It says 400 meters to the Liard River hot spring. So there is a road going this way, and when I was here about 15 years ago, I hiked about 2 miles down there, but that kind of ran out of energy. It says designated vehicle route, and I always wondered where it went. I thought maybe it went to some cool camps along the Liard River. So now we got the e-bike. We are going to go for a trip down there and see where it goes. We're camped out just about another half a click that way, right at the Liard River Bridge. So it's only about a kilometer from where the Liard, the bridge crosses the Liard River to where the hot spring is. Oh boy, this is just a nice little trail for an e-bike. You can just zip right along here, and ended up kind of where I thought I was going to. Well, there's a bunch of branches, but this one just ended up right on the river on the other side. So if you can see, I'm not sure if this is the Liard River. How to check that out. You see the highway on the other side. So hopefully, I'm thinking, I can't remember how far back it was to that bridge. There's a bridge down there somewhere. Maybe we can go all the way there and then just take the highway back. That'd be kind of cool. This is the end of the branch that kind of follows the river. It doesn't go any further than this, but you can see the hill come down on the other side. There's another river coming in here. Beautiful little spot. So it looks like this was maybe a road that they put in here a long time ago. I'm not sure. It looks like they were doing a little bit of mineral exploration. But also they had some camps in here where they were probably for hunting. People, maybe guide outfitters or something, had a little camp in here. I think we're probably close to, I didn't look at the odometer, about 7-8 clicks maybe from Liard Hot Springs. Yeah, I'll scrounge through there, see if there's anything really interesting. Probably lots of old stubby beer bottles. They're from the 70s, or I guess up into the 90s. Motor oil cans. There's a couple interesting things here. There's a Shasta, a Coors beer can, a BA oil can, Labatt's, beer can, 7-Up, says West and Wild on it, little right guard, deodorant, and a Budweiser. So we're not going to take any of this stuff. We're not in the museum business anymore, so we'll just leave the stuff where we find it. When you guys want it, help yourselves, just rusting away. I think we're back about 10K here. It's a little kind of a pond in here. And the beavers have been busy in here. So I haven't seen any, but you can tell there's beavers here because they've been falling trees. They're not very good fallers. They just chew till they fall, and they don't really know what direction they're going to head into. And sometimes they end up on top of them. So the nice thing about having the e-bike is, you don't got to have to worry about getting your chainsaw out and moving a bunch of stuff out of the way. You just hop off and lift it over the tree. Kind of nice. Yeah, so you can see their handiwork here. I imagine they would have preferred that tree fall into the slough there, but it fell across the road instead. Not that they care. So this is what they do. They like chewing the bark. See, there's places where the bark is chewed on these. That's what they're after. Now we found a spot where there's a couple of cool little cabins. I don't think we're more than about 10K back in here. This one, it's probably used by trappers, I guess. It's actually, this one's all locked up here. Looks like, well, more or less probably to keep the bears out as much as anything else. It only has one window, but it's boarded up. So, I don't know, they either use it for hunting or it's a trapper's cabin, one or the other. Has a little, been used more recently. They got a little toilet here. Yeah, they probably use it for hunting because they had a generator here. Because there's a couple plug-ins there. Nice spot on the river here. Oh, there's some tracks down there. The beach. Maybe we'll get down to the beach there. There's the river. How'd you like that for a view, huh? Gorgeous spot. Yeah, we're really quite a long ways back on this river here. Long ways from probably the closest person. I would say I wouldn't think there's anyone within 10 kilometers of here. So this is a kind of a neat little bench. If you look at this rock, it's just layers. Kind of neat the way it's folded like that, and it's sitting straight up and down, so it's folded. Interesting geological feature. Well, we're just about 15k back and we didn't want to go much further, but we find ourselves at Liard River Outfitters. So this is obviously a fly-in camp because nobody's driven in here for a long time. So there's an airstrip here. Yeah, it looks like a pretty nice camp. Everything's locked up, so we're not going to break in or anything like that. I mean, if it was open, we'd show it to you, but I see we're not gonna. So this looks like the result of a landing that was poor. That's a pretty fair-sized prop. Okay, so now we're at the Liard River Hot Springs. And if you see this sign, you'd be crazy not to go in here. Like, it's $5 and it's one of the most awesome you can't even buy a gallon of gas for $5 now. You just drive in here and you walk up the boardwalks. The only one that's maybe more awesome is St. Leon's, but that's more of the advanced hot spring. This one, you can just walk right into this neat boardwalk and we'll show you what the hot spring looks like. There, this is the entrance to the hot springs, and so around the campground they got electric fence to keep the bears. A lot of trouble with bears here. So you gotta be careful how you touch this or you get a zap. Yeah, they got a lot of bears and they like trying to keep them out of the campground, so they got electric fence around here. So we're outside the bear protection area now, and we got to take this boardwalk. It's not that far, I don't know, 300-400 yards I guess to the hot springs maybe. It's really cool the way I have it built here. Actually, when I was working on a fire here, stayed here for a couple of weeks, and we were coming here every day after work and sit in hot tubs. So actually I explored this area quite a bit. It goes way up there. This water is cold though, so it doesn't stay hot for very far from the hot springs. This is actually coming out of the hot springs. So lots of times you'll see a moose and stuff in here because you're in here eating the plants and whatnot. And this is all calcium carbonate, so you know that from the mines. So there's limestone formations underneath us. The water is coming up to the limestone formation, and there's fish and stuff that they like the warm water in here. So we're going to go up the boardwalk and we'll show you the hot springs. Pretty well camouflaged there. Yeah, maybe get a better shot of them later. I like those young poplars. They'll eat them all day long. Hey guy. Come on, stick your head out. I wonder how many pounds of leaves they'd eat in a day. Well, there you go. There's info on the hot springs. And yeah, she's a nice, well, one of the nicest ones I've seen. This part's quite hot where the water's coming out of the rock there. So if you can get up to there and touch that rock there, you've joined the Hot Rock Club. So right here is actually where, quite a few years ago now, a black bear attacked and killed 2 people here. And that is the Hanging Gardens. There used to be another 2 pools here that people used to be able to go into, but they got them blocked off now. Well, this water is not hot. It's not really cold, but it's actually a little cooler than warm. Yeah, there's quite a few spots where the water comes up through the limestone here. I'm sure where it comes to the surface it's hot. It cools off pretty quick. I don't think very many people come up here, but they have a nice boardwalk coming up here. If you look at the boardwalk, you can see it used to continue on past there. There is actually another pool back there. They've rehabilitated that. And they don't let people, oh, you're not supposed to walk off the boardwalk, so we won't. But it's back there. It's probably all full of scum and everything now.